Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about The Vampire Diaries, episode 809, titled The Simple Intimacy of the Near Touch, which premiered Friday, January 20th, 2017 on the CW. It's about 2 days after I've seen the episode, but you are still getting my first genuine thoughts about what I thought about it all. So, huge spoiler alert right now for you guys. I'm hoping you saw the episode before you're watching this video. Otherwise, I'm going to ruin the surprise for you. It's enough said about that. So, you already know the rules about how I do these videos, so let's just get right into it with the 10-minute clock, and let's begin. So, something new we learned in this episode. So, the quote title of the episode is The Simple Intimacy of the Near Touch, which was stated by Carol Lockwood to the Miss Mystic Court candidates in episode 119, which is rightfully so, since this episode brings back the Miss Mystic Falls pageant. Last seen in episode 407 and first seen in episode 119. So, storyline in this episode, I broke it down into two distinct ones. First one I'm calling Find the Weapon Pieces, which features, I guess I should say, is Bonnie had returned the Staff of Arcadius to the armory after she got back from Paris. Now we have Matt and Dorian trying to locate the charter bell, which they do in Grove Hill, I believe. And we also get Caroline trying to get the striker, which is that metal ball that is been called the Maxwell family heirloom before this episode. And she actually gets it from Stefan, who had taken it from Damon, who was on the verge of giving it to Sybil, but he ended up knocking her unconscious with it. So there's that. We also find out from Celine that only a Maxwell can ring the bell once it's been assembled. And also she has some more information, but she doesn't reveal it. Her part is left on a cliffhanger note, so hopefully we'll find out about that later on. Now the second storyline that I pegged was the Miss Mystic Falls pageant. So the main thing in this portion, I guess you should say, is not only the fact that Sybil calls back the Salvatore brothers, but we get Damon really trying. He's confused on why he feels connected to this place when he doesn't feel a connection. So we see Caroline helping Damon try to remember his connection to Elena, why he feels like he does when he's at that place. And we find out that Damon does remember Elena. He just doesn't have the emotional connections to those memories. So he doesn't know why she's important. She doesn't know why everyone's putting so much emphasis on her when he doesn't have the emotional connection to it. Also, we see Stefan killing Violet Fell and turning her into a vampire, as it was Stefan's new plan, is to turn people into vampires, as vampirism was a one-way ticket to hell, which is a one-way ticket to Kate. So there's that. So tidbits though, moving forward, we get Bonnie and Enzo also attending the pageant, but they contemplate throughout the episode the possibility of Bonnie becoming a vampire, since she returned with a new necklace that had Enzo's blood inside the necklace. Bonnie doesn't know if she could become a vampire because of Elena's curse. She's not sure if that would be considered a loophole that Kai had covered. So if Bonnie did become a vampire, then she and Elena would die instantly if it was considered as a loophole. So even though Bonnie could see herself turning into a vampire for Enzo, she won't do it because she won't risk Elena's life. Also, we have Bonnie wondering if Enzo could take the cure from Elena so that their eternity together will be the next 60 to 70 years, instead of it just being Bonnie's eternity or human eternity and then Enzo living a life without her afterwards. So that's where they're sitting at right now. And in the episode, we get Damon chaining up Sybil in the Salvatore cellars as his prisoner. Before he can get his own fangs into her, Sybil unleashes Damon's humanity onto him, where he's flushed with all the memories of what he's done since Sybil has gotten her claws into him. We also see Caroline giving back her engagement ring to Stefan shortly after he had announced that he was leaving for the road again alone so he could fulfill Kate's mission. And he is under the impression that he's going to serve Kate longer than the year he had originally planned. So moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I think for me it has to be the fact that Damon does remember Elena. This whole time I thought that Sybil actually erased her existence from him and just reworked it so that all of his loyalties and stuff that were once for Elena were for Sybil. But it turns out that she just erased all the emotional connections he had to Elena. So he remembers her. The more he goes down that path, the more he remembers about her, but he doesn't feel anything from it just yet. He's just more upset over the fact that he doesn't get why these memories are still so prominent in his head, I guess you could say. So I guess that's what surprised me the most, when he actually said to Sybil that he actually remembered. And I do have the quote for that. Just one moment. All right, found the quote. Damon actually says, "One last thing, when you were mucking about my subconscious, do you ever take time to understand Elena, her capacity for forgiveness?" Sybil mentions that he's slipping to remember what he's done, and then Damon goes, "Oh, I do. I remember all of it. And even though I can't feel a damn thing for Elena, the more you try and push her out, the more I understand she's never going away." So that part is probably what surprised me the most, that he admitted that he does remember her. So moving on, though, to top 3 favorite moments. My favorite moment has to probably be all the flashbacks we got to see, not only of the Damon and Elena flashbacks of them at the first Mystic Falls pageant, but also of Damon's actions throughout the season while he's been under Sybil's influence. We get that rush of a montage at the very end of the episode, but I really like how we got to see those little bits of I don't know what to say, bits of flashes, bits of a reminder through those flashbacks. I really like stuff like that. So it was just great to see that, how they were done and just what they featured as a huge focal point to bring up. Another favorite moment for me has to be the fact that Caroline was trying to help Damon with his feelings for Elena. I really like that. She even went to do the traditional dance with him. So it was really great how she was trying to get him to remember his feelings for Elena, trying to really get him to fight through whatever Sybil had her hold on him. It definitely shows a great change in Caroline's original stance against Damon and Elena. She didn't want them together. She had a kind of a grudge against Damon. So it's just great to see. In this moment, you not only see how far Caroline has come as a viewer of Damon and Elena, but it's great that she was willing to go through that distance. Also, that dance in general, what I just noticed it when I was doing a run through from the recap blog I post, but like, in that moment, you have 3 different conversations going on through that dance, which is very different from how we saw that dance for the first time when Damon and Elena performed it, where it was just the music, it was just them performing the dance, and then just them looking at each other and being lost to the world by that. So I thought that was really, really important to have that contrast, but then it just also helped as a bonus that in this episode, Caroline was definitely rooting for Damon to fight his way back to Elena. So there's that. Also, my last favorite moment has to be the Bonnie and Enzo. The whole talk of what their future could be. Is she going to turn into a vampire? Is he going to turn back into a human? Though there's logistical issues with that right there. But just the fact that they're talking about it, that they're contemplating it after 3 years of being together. I really like that we got to see glimpses of it. But yeah, so I really like that. Moving on though, top 3 peeved moments. First one is that Violet became a vampire. I don't like this because she's pretty much a mini Caroline. I'd rather have her die than have Caroline take her under her wing, so to speak. It seems like a repeat, and especially since Violet, her response to the whole pageant was really reminding me of human Caroline. It's just like, no, I could go without this. And speaking of repeats, my second peeve moment was that I just realized that Stefan became a Ripper once again when he made a deal to save someone he loved. So, there's only 2 other times that he did that. First time we saw it was when he made a deal with Klaus to save Damon's life in Season 2 and Season 3. That's when we first saw the Ripper emerge. Then we also saw it when Stefan made a deal with emotionless Caroline back in season 6 to save Sarah Salvatore. He agreed to turn off his humanity so that he could save his descendant. So we got Ripper stuff in that way too. And then now we have this one where he made a deal with Cade so that he'd become Ripper Stefan to save the twins. So it's just really interesting that the 3 major times that he's become the Ripper, it's all because it was a result of a deal he made to save someone he cared for. And there's the timer. So begs the question, are the ways that he came back from that any indicator of how he's going to get back to Caroline now in this current state? So let's move on. What will I remember most? I look back on the episode, the Miss Mystic Falls pageant return. That's pretty much huge setting focus for this episode. So there's that. Random questions though. I do have some. So the first one is, what news does Selene have about the Witch's Bell weapon? Why does she or Sybil want it assembled if it could possibly kill them? I have some predictions about that though, but what do you guys think about that question? Another question. What is it going to take to get Stefan to bring his humanity back? As I just mentioned, with his deal with Klaus, it was him almost killing Elena in 311 that kind of had him slowly bringing his humanity back. With his deal with Caroline, can't remember specifically what was the moment that he got his humanity back, but it supposedly came back when Lily kind of stepped in thanks to Damon's guidance. So I think that was it as well. But yeah, what's it going to take this time though? Since it didn't look like his rejected proposal did anything for him. Next question. Can a member of the Maxwell line, aka Matt Donovan, be influenced by a siren? Since they're the only ones that can ring the bell, do they have any immunity towards the sirens because of that? Or that's just a coincidence that they could be the only ones to use it, or if the witches did some type of protection thing for the Maxwell line to kind of keep them clear-headed when facing them, I guess. Next question, last question actually. Stefan actually desiccated in this episode when Caroline got him in the heart with the wooden leg. But he does come back afterwards, obviously. But does that prove that Stefan and Damon are now true immortals while working for Cade? Since now this is Stefan's second time, I believe, that he's died since agreeing to work for Cade, and then Damon has died once already. So I'm wondering if now they're up to the original level or if they surpassed that in regards to immortality. So there's that, excuse me. So let's move on to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 8-10, it looks like Damon is stuck inside his mind because of what Sybil did to him. It looks like Stefan plans to burn Mystic Falls to the ground. It looks like Damon and Stefan are fighting each other. And in a brief, quick flash, I saw Vicky Donovan's grave being shown. So that might be something to look forward to, because according to the synopsis for the episode, it reads, the title being Nostalgia's a Bitch. Ain't that something, right? So it states, the ringing of the bell. Sybil enacts revenge on Damon by putting him in a catatonic state. Caroline and Bonnie enter Damon's mind and run into familiar faces from the past. Only discover Stefan is the key to Damon's fate. If it's a race against time for the bell, as both Sybil and her sister Selene jockey for its control. Matt also appears. So, big thing right there. Familiar faces appear. I'm so excited to see this happen. I wonder who it's going to be. The fact that Vicky's grave was shown has me kind of thinking she's going to pop out at some point. Last time we saw her, I think she was sucked up by the abyss on the other side in like 518. So it's possible that she's kind of back in hell too, or if we're going to see... I'm thinking familiar faces and we're going to be in Damon's head. It's going to be maybe the familiar faces of the people that have been wronged by Damon. So maybe Lexi, maybe Vicky, maybe Tyler, maybe Jeremy. Maybe that's the way we'll see him again. I want to say Elena, but it's probably going to be archive footage since we've seen so far. But I'm hoping these familiar faces will be new footage for us to see. Also, for my prediction about why the Siren Sisters want to assembled the weapon that could kill them. I think they either want to use it against each other to kind of eliminate the competition and try to like be at peace with not having to worry about their sister trying to kill them, or they know that it can be used against Cade and stop him once and for all. I don't know, but I don't trust it for sure though. I definitely don't trust Selene's good girl act. I think she's definitely has more up her sleeve, especially since we have to remember she was the original evil sister back on the flashbacks from 2,000 years ago. So there's that. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it, as well as your own thoughts and theories for what could happen in the remaining episodes of the series. Also, if you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. Reblog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, all that good stuff. Link for that is down below. WordPress is also attached to my Tumblr, which is linked down below as well. And if you want to see a full recap of the episode in a point form with a few of my in-moment thoughts put in there as well, check out my live journal entry account. The link for that is down below. That one's if you want more of a replay of what happened, what was said, kind of a summary of what's happening in the scenes. So go check that out as well. And also, if I haven't mentioned already, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you come back next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.